Crypto gaming once claimed the absolute king narrative of the 2021 cycle, and a narrative that has shown so much potential, but it seems not a lot of projects have been able to capture product market fit, sustainability, and of course, there's just tons of rug pulls and just bad actors that have come through the crypto gaming space as builders to raise money and basically deliver nothing. So the big question that we're going to answer for you guys in this video is, does crypto gaming have any chance of survival? Is crypto gaming dead? And above else, for all of us who are building portfolios in crypto, what would be the gaming tokens that are worth holding at this point in the cycle? We're going to answer all these questions and show you the metrics. Is crypto gaming dead, or is there a future, and especially for this alt season? So without further ado, let's jump into it. And before we dive into the alpha for today's show, be sure to drop down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel. It really does help us get in front of more crypto bulls who are looking for all the alpha to win this bull run. As well, a big shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. We have Nexus Lab, the software, market consolidator, and trading platform we use every single day on this show. We also have Blowfin, the #1 centralized exchange. Trade from anywhere. Deposit bonuses are down below in the description. But I want to give a big shout out today to 𝗪𝗏, the derivatives exchange from CoinW, one of the top centralized exchanges. This is basically their version of a Hyperliquid. And if you missed the Hyperliquid airdrop, this is definitely a great opportunity to get behind a second chance with this perps exchange. First and foremost, you can leverage tons of different pairs, but as you see here, low cost, efficient. There's a pendulum market making model. You have the decentralized referral program, fun contracts for traders, no KYC, and innovative L3 network technology. And the most important thing is you can literally get rewarded for your volume in the form of a future airdrop. So be sure, drop down below. We have exclusive sign up link down below for 𝗪𝗏, the official derivatives exchange of In the Game. And now let's jump into it. All the volatility. Before we jump into the crypto gaming narrative specifically, we do see a green week on Bitcoin, plus 2.5%, which is solid to see. And if we were to filter on the daily chart, we actually see gaming coins leading the charge. Ironically, we see Citus up 50% today. We see stuff like 𝗁𝘂, which, by the way, Binance Alpha, that was a great time to be buying the lows at like 0.007 on 𝗁𝘂. One of our highest conviction, lower market cap gaming coins is up 53% this week off the backs of their new AI narrative, as well as Binance Alpha. We see stuff like Super Champs, Prompt. We scroll down here, we see Superverse up 7% on the weekly. We had a great snipe of that 78 cents level on 𝗕𝗏, up 9%. So we are seeing some gaming tokens pumping at the top of the market, which is very nice to see. And obviously, we're not going to see alt season until we see an all-time high on Ethereum, as well as maybe Bitcoin push up to higher levels, which, by the way, I think will happen. Right now, we are seeing the gold markets at all-time highs, while Bitcoin is just trending sideways / selling off. So this is a good sign that I think Bitcoin will be a catch-up trade to gold. We also see the US Fed rate cuts by 25% basis points. The probability on Polymarket is now 90% following the jobs report that we just got this week. So pretty good signs for, honestly, the future of the market. And overall, I agree with this tweet. It's never as simple as, just set and forget. But at this point in the market and at this specific time, looking at where altcoins are, I think buy any altcoin now, sell around Thanksgiving to December, thank me later. I think that's a pretty good sentiment. And next week, I will be talking about my crypto exit strategy for this cycle, where I'm going to funnel my money to, what I'm going to end up doing with profits, when I'm going to start taking profits, my strategy of how I'm going to trim down bags as they begin to pump, as well as how I'm going to allocate some of that capital back into Bitcoin for simply long-term appreciation. So we'll have that for you next week. But this video is really all about crypto gaming, guys. Obviously, this channel, In the Game, whenever I first got into crypto YouTube back in 2021, gaming was really all I focused on, and it was a promising niche that I really had such high hopes for. You can go back on the channel and see the countless crypto gaming videos we have from 2021. It really was, what got me into making content in crypto. And this journey I actually tweeted about last night, just a little bit of like lore and backstory. Been in crypto since 2017. At that point, I was doing sports betting and you had to deposit Bitcoin. I didn't really know much about Bitcoin at that time. Got involved with like Cardano, XRP. Some of my friends were telling me that those were pretty hot. I liked Ethereum at the time. So I was lucky enough to be positioned with Bitcoin just off the basis of having to buy some to invest in the sports betting world, which, you know, is give or take. You can be unprofitable or profitable, but at the end of the day, anytime I would withdraw, I'm also taking back Bitcoin. So it helped me learn about what the vision for crypto was. But at the time, 2020, whenever the time period, YouTube doesn't like saying the C word or the P word here whenever it comes to this time period. But 2020 time period, I was just streaming Warzone tournaments every night here on Twitch, kill races, playing for money, basically. It was play to earn for me at that point in time. And one day I got rated by a really high level professional streamer, changed my whole perspective. And on top of that, I saw 𝗪𝗓𝗏𝗪 Infinity back in May of 2021. And I said, wow, that is a really unique opportunity for the amount of time and money I'm spending in these games. And I'm also grinding to, make money at that time, pay my rent, hopefully, with tournament winnings in Call of Duty. That really just made sense to me. Like, I can turn my time into dollars much easier by participating in crypto gaming. So I dove headfirst into that, started making content on it. I literally dropped Twitch streaming overnight just to start doing this on YouTube, all because of the crypto gaming narrative. Now, and right now I have to say, the narrative has been nothing but disappointing. And if anyone's telling you otherwise, that's a bold-faced lie, right? This has had probably more bumps, bruises, trials, and tribulations than any other niche in crypto. The amount of projects that have shut down, rug pulled, completely duped their investors, go 90% down from pre-sale terms on day one. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And in gaming, the main problem, there's three main problems here. Number one is VC money. The tokens just go nothing but down. Okay, like the terms, the FDVs, it's ridiculous. Number two is founders treat their TGE as if that's the finish line, when in gaming, that's really just the start. And number three is the fact that honestly, at this point in time, we've only had maybe 5 quality games, like really good video games inside of the niche of crypto. So we have greedy founders raising money and VCs extracting. Number two, we have founders that treat the TGE as their exit, right? They get their liquid tokens and then they're just probably dumping them all over the chart. And then a few months later, they say, oh, we're shutting down shop because they already, accomplished what they needed to. A lot of founders come to Web3 gaming. Even recently, we saw an article from the Reaper Actual team, which is, they did one of the OG battle royales back in the day. They said they came to Web3 mainly for the funding and not really for the fact of, loving the idea of Web3. And then, of course, number 3, we just haven't had enough good games. But right now, we are seeing a little bit of a resurgence, right? And if we were to look at gaming tokens, just where they are sitting right now, we go to the top of the line. It's crazy to me, number one, that Gala and the Sandbox are still the top gaming tokens other than Immutable by market cap. Immutable makes sense. They have such a, big imprint on the gaming space, sitting at $1 billion market cap. That one makes sense to me. But as far as Gala and the Sandbox and Decentraland sitting here being valuated above stuff like Beam, Aether, Ronin, even Superverse, that's pretty crazy to me that the old cycle tokens that basically do nothing now, Gala, Sand, and Mana, are still controlling the market share. So that to me just tells me a lot of the quality projects are just overall mispriced. And let's just look at the gaming narrative right now, okay? Very quietly, gaming's making a comeback. Between, a few different catalysts, and we're about to talk about that right now. But back in 2021, what really drove the market is the speculation that people could make money inside of 𝗪𝗓𝗏. And right now, people are making money inside of different games. We see here Pudgy Party. Right now, people, Luca Netz, the founder of Pudgy Penguins, or really the CEO who purchased Pudgy Penguins, is saying that he has a theory that if you played Pudgy Party full time, you could make more than a minimum wage job. We see Becker here saying 97% of crypto does not see this coming right now. But Off the Grid has countless NFTs selling for thousands of dollars. Now Pudgy does too. You realize this is about to be every game. Billions of transactions and fees. Gaming is the sleeping monster. And the thesis we've had for years in Neo Tokyo is coming, and it is a second and is even crazier gaming and NFT bull run. We see here just like that, people selling their skins in Pudgy Party for $700. And if you don't believe it, let's just take a look at this marketplace here. We're looking at listings right now for different skins. We see upwards of $2,400 on this Power Pudgy skin, okay? We can see recent sales right here. Multiple today have sold for over $1,000 here on this right side. You can see the amount of Mythos token that was paid to be able to get these. And yesterday selling for thousands. The most recent one here sold for $1,222. This is a heroic all-rounder, the Power Pudgy, who looks like Batman, but with a, as a Pingu, which is absolutely amazing. We jump down here and we can see another Power Pudgy listed for $1,200. We can see the Ballerina Cappuccina is listed at a decent price. Captain Pudgy's at $162. These are all skins you can just jump in and start earning by playing Pudgy Party. And by the way, this is all on your mobile phone, as I can pull this up right as we're talking here. I can go Pudgy Party, and you can just jump in right now. This is powered by Mythical Games. Mythical Games is behind Blankos Block Party, NFL Rivals, FIFA Rivals. We can also take a look at those marketplaces. Like, they're not as lucrative as Pudgy, but right now, if we just switch over to NFT or NFL Rivals, you're seeing skins being traded for $30, $40, $50 on different players in this ecosystem. And all of these, you can really get started for free. You do not have to participate in microtransactions so much, but if you do want to, that option is on the table. That's the vision for gaming that I always saw, is there's going to be two subsectors. There's going to be people who will participate in the economics of the game, aka earning and trading skins, and there will be people that just want to collect and participate, play the game, because games are supposed to be fun, and you can do both of those inside of these different ecosystems. Beyond that, we're seeing almost all-time high player counts on Steam for Off the Grid. Off the Grid almost broke a new all-time highs in concurrent players, with 12,811 on Steam battling out, just 10 players shy from all-time high. Web3 gaming is inevitable. Right now, the Ronin ecosystem is really flourishing between 𝗪𝗛𝗏𝗏, Fableborn, the Beacon with Pixels. Pixels also, changing some economics alongside Pirate Nation, or you could say Proof of Play, changing economics, going from local token rewards to stablecoin rewards. Also, I love what's going on at 𝗕𝗄𝗄𝗏𝗄𝗏. Some of these simple games are just some of the ones that at this point in time are the most obvious and easy bets. So Ronin's ecosystem is absolutely thriving. And more on Ronin here, we can see Ronin OG infrastructure that onboarded millions into 𝗪𝗀𝗃, 800,000 monthly active users, listed on all the biggest centralized exchanges. The games that are cooking like Cambria, Pixels, like I said, Fishing Frenzy, 𝗪𝗛𝗏𝗏, #1 NFT by on-chain revenue as far as 𝗪𝗀𝗃 Infinity goes. This is one of the king ecosystems, and they're still on their feet and moving along. And a lot of these projects have folded over the course of time. And look, there's money still coming into crypto gaming. Gigaverse, the best game on Abstract right now, just raised $2 million for their round as well. We see Proof of Play Arcade, people earning $500, $1,000 in their different arcade tournament seasons, right? So there was a day left whenever this leaderboard was posted, but there is still money to be made inside of crypto gaming. But you can't just do it with any given run-of-the-mill project, right? So if you want to dive into these games, there's dollars to be made. But ultimately speaking, what are the gaming tokens that I would still be confident in holding throughout the rest of the cycle? Because it's definitely changed. Look, as much as as much as the next person, I'd love to tell you that all of the conviction plays that I used to have are still standing, but a lot of them have fallen through the cracks, right? I do think Immutable will still do very well this cycle, so I think IMX is firmly in that category of a safe hold. I still love Beam, Aether, and Ronin, as well as Superverse, so those four, I think, and I wouldn't hold all of these. That is another thing. At one point in the cycle, I was overweight in gaming coins, right? And now I've really allocated like 70% of my money into majors like KETA, TAO, Kaspa, AVAX, Hyperliquid, those types of coins to really just anchor the portfolio. But if gaming does catch a bid here and the attention somewhat can come back as far as 2021 gaming hype, I think that stuff like Super Beam, Aether, Ronin, those are going to be absolute rocket ships if this narrative takes off. And the reason is all of these coins are down 70, 80% from their all-time highs. You're looking at such a launch pad, multiple X's to be able to get back to those levels. So as far as high caps, those are the ones that I would focus on. Mainly at this point, I would probably allocate Ronin, and Beam just gets a lot of liquidity, right? So I think that one's a pretty safe play because it does move pretty aggressively within the market. As far as mid caps, I like Wilder World a lot. They're doing a lot as far as speculation. They have their $100,000 tournament going on right now. Their new blockchain is doing tons of transactions. I still love Zentry, especially if they get that full-blown Binance listing. This is going to absolutely rocket as well. So I like Zentry and Wilder World here in the mid cap section. And look, I see a lot of questions about Prime. I still like Prime, and I do think that Prime still has a good future. The one thing I want to see from the ecosystem of Parallel and Prime is more updates. I feel like the updates have kind of slowed, and that's why the token, you're not hearing much about it right now. There's just not a lot of news, but I do think Prime could bounce back, especially with their AI game, which everyone has been waiting on at this point for quite some time. So I do hope to see that come to light here in the near term, at least. Other than that, I think that if gaming was to run, you could probably see the gun token do well. I think Crown's going to do well throughout the cycle, as well as Polis. But my number one low market cap play here would absolutely be Xborg. This is one I think is so overlooked. They're working with so many big esports organizations. They have so many different things inside their ecosystem that just makes sense as far as bringing Web3 to games. A lot of games and a lot of companies, because Xborg's not a game, they're more of an infrastructure. They overcomplicate it and they try to bring everything on chain as much as possible, and the user doesn't like that. But Xborg has done a great job towing the line of what to bring into Web3, what to keep Web2 native, but also give them the perks and the rewards and the upside of having Web3 inside of your game. So at an $18 million market cap, I think that this is a great bet here at 7.5 cents. I also like Polis as a low cap. These are higher risk, but Polis with the Star Atlas ecosystem moving into their new blockchain that they're launching this fall, I think that could be a very big winner. And then last but not least would be WAGMI Games, sitting at an $11 million market cap. Once they start injecting money and revenue back into the chart, I think it's going to absolutely fly. So I did mention about 10 tokens. This is not me telling you go buy all 10 of those tokens, right? Figure out what you believe in at this point, because gaming is a rough one, okay? To be honest, I'm more allocated into stuff like Zentry, Wild, Polis, Xborg, because they have springboard potential. And yeah, my top gaming bag still stuff like AVAX, Ronin, etc. Those will anchor my gaming portfolio, but at the same time, I do think those are great options to look at as far as mid cap and low caps that could just simply move faster if the market does pick up. And I did mention this yesterday on the show, but I am looking at this token. If this keeps going down, the Mythos token is the native token to the Mythical Games ecosystem, who is the parent company behind all of these titles, all of which have done very well. At one point, all of these were #1 in the games app store. So for me, this is something I'm looking at. If this token was to keep declining, eventually it's something I would take a stab at as far as a trade. I think this could rebound very heavily, considering the fact that they are so closely associated with Pudgy Penguins, with the NFL, FIFA, etc. They're the infrastructure and the launch pad that has brought those games to market. So that's absolutely something I'm looking at. And then if you want a direct play towards the Pudgy ecosystem, just buy Pengu. I think Pengu is going to do very well. So those are a mixed bag full of the gaming coins that I still really believe in. Like I said, do not go buy every single one of them. Not every single one of them is going to do numbers at the end of the day, right? But I do think all of those projects are still quality. And at the same time, if you just pick a bag of those 3, maybe a high cap, a mid cap, and a low cap, I think you come out of this cycle pretty well, because I do think attention will start to flow when things get frothy. At the end of this cycle, I think attention will come into coins and narratives that haven't pumped. So even if it's a quote unquote scam pump, as we see in certain narratives sometimes, I do think gaming will springboard near the end of this cycle. And I really would bet on that at the end of the day. So that's my overall thesis right now on where gaming is. I think it's actually a lot healthier than it was 12 months ago. Do we have a lot of games to go play still? Absolutely not. It's pretty rough out there. The games are pretty tough, but there are a few quality ecosystems that are pushing out content, pushing out good games, and I'm betting on those at this point in time. So guys, like the video down below and subscribe to the channel. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for more gaming updates, gaming videos, so let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What gaming coins do you still believe in or still hold? Or do you just in general think that crypto gaming is eternally cooked and won't come back? I respect every opinion, so let me know down below in the comments. And I'll see you guys on Monday. As always, play well, my friends, trade responsibly, and please stay bullish, my friends.